We are live, and I have absolutely nothing prepared. But hey, but does that stop anything? Let's go. Hey, and we're back. So glad you were able to join us, or possibly see this a little later. Um, it's amazing how far I've come in this on this experiment in the last several months, but it has been an amazing feat for me because I've seen the time that I would have come on and not had something prepared, and I probably would have canceled because I was struggling so badly about perfection and how it's being perceived. And this more than anything was a test for me to kind of face my fears of overcoming the hidden one. And it's been a wild ride so far. Uh, it's always something happening. I've had to learn what to share when, because I do have a very real business attached to this patent. And what I have come to find out is that I have people who are in international waters who really look me up and search the page, and we've had some interesting developments concerning the patents. And one good thing about God is that even when you make mistakes, um, there's always something to learn from them, and there's also a way to grow from. 'Em. And what has happened for me very recently is that I've had at least three incidences where I felt that I destroyed what I was trying to build, or someone was able to take advantage of where I was. And every time, absolutely every time, a way was made, something would happen, a revision was made. So anything that was proprietary that I thought someone had got a hold to, it doesn't even matter anymore because the patent and the invention is still evolving, and it evolved at such a rate that the old technology was obsolete that they had. And that, if nothing else, man, it is proven beyond a shadow of doubt that God has us. I have not been posting that I'm gonna come on. I've just been showing up consistently at 7:30 on Thursdays, and I think that's kind of more so for me because Um, I realize that we will be doing another podcast, and that'd be kind of for other folk, but this is kind of for the people who are really bought into the journey. Because some people, they're like, okay, what is he doing? But this becoming journey has been everything. I want to share. I was able to go back and join the gym this past week. I had a picture I thought I was going to share, but time got away from me and I couldn't share it. But a lot of you don't realize the reason I couldn't be in the gym for the last 3 years is because of injuries. I was continuing to injure myself over and over again. And it started with, I thought it was plantar fasciitis. It got in both feet. And then eventually it just kept moving up my body to the point that I almost couldn't walk for a while. It got to the point that my back was so jacked up that, I really got scared. I was having to get some medical assistance. And it was all because I was treating my body as something that I had to overcome, and it wasn't a partner. My body was not my partner. If anything in the gym, I was treating my body as the enemy, and that this was something that I had to overcome. I had no concept that me and my body were supposed to be partners on this fitness journey. I didn't know how to listen to my body. I didn't know how to honor it. All I knew was, hey, I want to lose 20 pounds and I want to look like I did 25 years ago. And they say no pain, no gain. That was right up my alley. That's all I had ever known in my life. So when I felt pain, I thought it was a good thing. I did not know how to differentiate the difference between the pain of muscle gain and the pain of I'm abusing my body. But the difference 3 years would make not being able to be in the gym, having to learn my body in such a way that I wanted the pain to stop. And I can tell you that it has been one of the most beautiful relationships I have ever cultivated. And that is the relationship with me. It by far has been the secret to every new innovation that's been happening in my life because once my body realized that we were friends, my nervous system it started to regulate, and now I am connected to that energetic force that we all have inside of us that connects everything to this world. And I promise you, it's like some magical experience that I'm living every day. And I'm not saying that I don't have pains every now and then. I do. I'm not saying that I don't have challenges because I got gut checked earlier this week. But what I can tell you that I noticed that is so different from where I used to be is that when I did get gut checked this week, my recovery time was so much quicker than what it has been. Because when bad things used to happen to me in the past, I would ruminate over that for weeks. I got caught pretty good a couple of days ago, and the next day it was like it never happened. And I'm like, that has never happened in my life. And the only thing that I can attribute it to is this journey, right? The only thing that I can attribute it to is putting in the work to keep learning how to regulate this nervous system over and over again. Now, for those of you who've been following this and listening to this, every day I'm becoming more and more convinced that this is the way, that this is how you make those dreams come to pass. But what happened in the gym was so beautiful. When I stepped into the gym, when I crossed the threshold, the walk came back. And for those of you who've been spent time in the gym, you know what I'm talking about when the walk comes back. But what didn't come back was the ego. Well, it tried, but it didn't come back. So it was just like everything in me was like saying, yes, this is where I'm supposed to be. And I'm here to tell you that this wasn't a quick process. I had been waiting almost a year for my body to say, hey, you can go back to the gym. And then it got real close, and I knew it was getting close. And then I started getting anxious, and I wanted to go, but I have invested too much in developing this relationship with myself that I was not going to rush and not wait for the inspired action. But when I waited for the inspired action, and it was just like now, I got off the exit, I passed the exit, and I turned around, went back. The guy was there. He was waiting for me. He's like, man, where have you been? It felt like I was coming home. And it was a beautiful feeling. But I came back the next day and started working out. And like I said, when I crossed the threshold, I could feel the rhythm. I could feel the heartbeat, that I felt when I was in the gym, when I felt really physically fit. And I got on the treadmill and I started walking. Not run, I walked and then I ran for a while. Now, this is where it started to get tricky. A guy about my age hopped on the treadmill next to me and he was running. Now, the old me would have turned it on 10 and would have been like battling this guy without him knowing it. I mean, just competitive because it felt like I always felt like when people were coming in, they would challenge me. But that was just my nature. I've just always been competitive. But it was really difficult for a moment. I just felt, but then the first thing I thought about is like, do I want to do this to myself? Am I ready for this? Is this what's best for me or is this ego? And I did. I continued to walk. And when it was time to run, I ran. I forgot what this guy thought about and I stayed in my rhythm. And I was very proud of myself for that because I used to not have that ability. I was so competitive. I used to didn't have it. I couldn't just stop. I was gonna fight. I was gonna show. Nobody was gonna outwork me. Nobody was gonna outdo me in anything. So so I was triggered for a moment, but ultimately I came back to who I was. And I think that's the whole thing about life. We are so preoccupied with what other people are doing that sometimes we forsake what's the rhythm that we got in our life right now. This is my race. You're running your race. And they're not to be compared. The Bible speaks that comparison is not wise, but we do it so often. You know, we have this thing where we think we should have arrived at a certain point in our lives, that things are supposed to have happened by a certain time. And we're looking at our peers and we're looking at other folk that we think, we have a lot of these similarities to, but nobody has your race. No one has your race. And every time we're looking away and we're looking at things and we're looking at other folk and we're not paying attention to what's set in front of us, we're becoming distracted. I said this a couple of years ago. I say distractions are the things that you see when you take your eyes off your race. And that's all that I've been focusing on lately is my race, not what other people think I should arrive, not what their expectations are to me. What is my body, my inner being is saying at this particular point? Last week we started talking about I had to figure out how to take one day at a time, and Will Smith had this thing about placing one brick on top of another brick, and you're not trying to build a wall, you're trying to build a brick. That was Will Smith's maxim. I had to figure out what was Maximus Wright's maxim, and my maxim is one frame, one scene, one movie. How do you continue to look at this one frame with the mind of how the whole movie is getting ready to play out? And that has been working for me. That has slowed me down. That has gotten me grounded to the point that I'm not allowing life to move me. I'm allowing inspired action and inspired energy to move me. I'm not I'm not trying to get out of alignment in any type of way. And look, it was hard as I don't know what to get to this point because I was always so afraid that I was about to miss out on something. I was afraid that if I didn't outwork everyone, I was afraid that if I was not first, I would fail. And I've come to find out if I stay in alignment, there's no way I can fail. I've learned that as I continue to rest in my alignment, rushing is the enemy. Rushing is the proof that I don't believe that this is going to happen. When I'm in alignment and I'm at peace, I realize I'm not in a race, I'm a magnet. I am literally pulling and attracting the things to me that I once was pursuing. I felt that if I was not in constant pursuit of a thing, then I was getting further and further behind. That is the farthest thing from the truth that I have learned from this journey. What I have learned from this journey is if you spend the bulk of your time on making sure that you're in alignment, you become the magnet, and the things that you were chasing will now start chasing you. This is not something that I have heard. I am telling you, this is what is working in my life right now. And if I can convince you to do anything tonight, it is to get to the point that you feel harmony within your mind, body, and soul. Do whatever it takes. Take whatever classes, learn how to breathe. There is nothing more important that I think that you can do in the fulfillment of purpose than to learn how to do these things. Because I am telling you, even without all the evidence of that I've already won, I am telling you, I know in my heart that this is so. We will be at beta by February. We're already in pre-beta stage at this point. Every step that I've said since the film festival, before the film festival, I said we will be at MVP by the film festival. I say we will be in beta by February. Now we've had challenges. I say we will have the algorithm set. I had the algorithm set before the festival, and at the festival we launched the MVP, and you saw it. Now we're on the road, and we're going to accomplish this thing to be at beta by February. And that's exactly where we are. And it hasn't been because I put forth all this great effort and I had all this great intelligence. It is happening because the vision was given to me. And I worked on getting my alignment with myself right. And it's not like I'm making stuff happening. It is that stuff is coming to me. The people are coming to me. The situations are coming to me. And I remember the frustration I used to have when I would call people and they wouldn't call me back. Or I would say, hey, I need your help. And they wouldn't get in contact with me. Now, when people don't call me back, I don't take it personal. I say, you know something? It might not be time. My timing may be off. I need to wait. I need to wait for the inspired action. Anytime I'm feeling rushed, I know I'm out of alignment. Anytime that I feel like I'm forcing something, I am totally out of alignment. If it is not peace, if it is not flow, you are out of alignment for the things that you want. And your outside is only going to be a reflection of the turmoil that's going on the inside. If I want my relationships to improve, I'm not trying to fix people anymore. I'm not trying to make them be anything that I think they should be. I'm not trying to say, you need to be this way. What I am doing is that I'm taking that energy and focusing it on me. I am making sure that I have what I'm looking for in them. It is affecting the leadership that I have with the business. Everything as I create a better relationship with myself is improving every other relationship around me. It is like, I am beloved. And that is not coming from a place of arrogance. That is coming from a place of fact. I am beloved. And it's because I killed the self-hatred in me first. Because at one point I did not feel beloved at all. but it was because I had this bad relationship. The gym was proof of the bad relationship I had with myself. Because when I tell you, I did not know how to partner with my own body to get to the results that I want. I am in better physical form than I was when I was working in the gym 5 times a week. And I did that for like 3, 4 years straight. Now I don't have the strength that I had from the strength training. And that's why I'm going back to the gym now to get the strength back. But the relationship I have with myself, I am approaching it with a whole different standpoint. I'm not going in there trying to hurt myself. I'm going in there listening to my body and saying, what do we need to work on today? I'm like, how do we get here? Because the body has a wisdom that you do not know. When we start talking about interoception is the body's language and how it communicates with you. We know it on a base level that when we feel hunger, no one told us that meant when you feel that pain in your stomach, no one told that meant you was hungry, but you have learned, oh, that means I'm hungry. When you go without water, sometimes you can realize, oh, this headache is because I'm dehydrated. The body is trying to communicate with you. And what I have found out is that the body communicates in a very advanced way. If you really want to take it to the next level, I am starting to see that the AI that people are trying to create is really based off the AI that works within our autonomic nervous system. Our autonomic nervous system is the most advanced mechanism in the universe. And the more we learn it, the more we learn this about ourselves, our lives are going to go from here to extraordinary. This is what I know beyond a shadow of a doubt. Because talent is not getting me to this point, alignment is. The relationship with myself in this universe is here. How I treat myself is how I train others to treat me. But more importantly, it will then reflect how the universe treats me in response, in kind. Now, I know this might be hard for some of you all to get, but I am telling you, this is the gospel. If you continue to build a relationship with yourself, if you continue to commit to the alignment of you aligning with the harmony of your heart, mind, and soul, when you get all those things in page, you on page, you are literally walking in the keys of the kingdom. I cannot, I cannot express to you enough the importance of learning to listen to your body, learning to not just listen to when it's bad, but listen to it, really be focused, really be present, because you are just existing and you're missing the most greatest miracles that could be happening every day. That one phrase of one frame, this is honest God truth. When I realized that I was not really focusing on it, because this is how it makes sense to me. When I'm on a film set, I am so laser focused on what's inside of me, in front of me, I see how the people breathe. I can tell if their breathing patterns are off. I can start seeing the little nervous clicks that they have with their mannerism. I see everything. And it wasn't until that maxim came to me saying one scene, one scene, one frame, one scene, that I realized I wasn't even seeing life like I see on the movie set. Because sometimes my mind is so far away from what's in front of me, I don't even realize that the beauty that's right in front of me right now. And what that did, makes me present. And if I'm present, that means I'm in the parasympathetic nervous system. If I'm in the parasympathetic nervous system, that means that I am open. That means I'm in receptive mode. And that's when things manifest faster. Just being present, you have to be open. Because when you're in the sympathetic nervous system and you are closed, listen, your prefrontal cortex is going offline because now you're in survival mode again. But when you slow down and you feel the world around you, the seat, when you see the frame, when you start to see the colors, it's something about it that slows you all the way down. Now your breathing starts to regulate. And not only does your breathing start to regulate, your prefrontal cortex comes back online. And now you don't feel the tension. Now your body starts to relax. Now that's what receptive mode feels. And the longer you can stay in receptive mode, the heart mind coherence starts to align. And that means your biomagnetism is now sending waves out to the universe. And the very things that you've been praying for are now coming to you. I hope I said something to you tonight because I'm here to tell you My life has never been better. But those of you who started with me in the beginning, you can see there's a different ease that I have now when I do these lives because I'm not so concerned about how I look. That fear is starting to erode. This has been a real life exercise of you seeing me go through this process. But I don't want you to just see this. I want you to start paying attention to things that start to come that will be announced in the near future. And you'll say, you know something, we saw him walk this out. I did this for us, that it be a blueprint for my kids, for those of you who want to do it, but also me addressing these fears, addressing the hidden one archetype that I was struggling with in this process. Me being so concerned about who I am, me learning how to regulate on the live, which used to have me terrified. And now I have no fear. I have no fear. I'm not concerned if there's two people, one people, nobody. This is for me. This is me overcoming. This is me overcoming in real time. This is me facing it. This is me learning how to win. This is me showing you, hey, we'll do it ugly until we learn how to do it good. Because what I can guarantee is that when we start moving to more of a formalized podcast, it's going to be a success too. Winning is a habit. It's a habit. It's a feeling. And the more you do it, the more you get familiar with it. Because most of the time, you just need to give yourself time. You need to give yourself space. You need to give the universe an opportunity to meet you where you are. And that's how winning is done. I hope you got something from this tonight. Thank you all so very much for those you who tuned in. You can always hit me with a question, even if it's not here. You know, I'm just here to help. I'm just here to be an example. Like I've said since the beginning of this year, I'm not the exception. I'm just an example, and I'm trying to prove it to you, and for lack of a better word. But what I am trying to do is I'm trying to live that example in front of you. So when it happens, that the manifestation that others in the world could see, some of you all will have been right here with me. Say, we saw how he did it, and if he did it, we can too. All right. Good night. Talk to y'all next week.